Do you have any old photos in film format? Or perhaps you've scanned the images and now you're not sure what to do with them? Well, there's a quick way to turn your negatives into positives and punch up the contrast using Luminar Neo. I'm Darlene with Digital Photo Mentor. Follow along in this clip from one of our recent weekly live streams here on our YouTube channel. You'll see which tools to use and how to make some quick corrections. So if you're ready to restore some images from film scans, let's get started. Okay, so there's the original. Okay, so it comes in and it looks like a negative. So first thing we need to do is crop it because I need to get rid of all this extraneous stuff. So I'm going to go freeform, and it's a square negative, it looks like. So I'm going to come all the way down to here and all the way up to here. Let's just get rid of that. Okay. Now to fix this or to invert it, if you've watched my curves tutorial, that's where you're going to go to do that. So go to curves and literally just invert the curve so that it's upside down. And now we have a positive image. Okay. And this image seems to be, it's green, right? So we're going to make this monochromatic, but we could also try and adjust the color here a little bit using the eyedropper here as well. Right? So that helps, right? Immediately it gets rid of the color cast. So whenever you're using this eyedropper, whether that be in Luminar or in Lightroom, whatever you put the eyedropper on, it's going to try and get rid of any color tint or neutralize that color tint. Okay. Right now we can look at the histogram, and it's inversed. The curve is upside down. Okay. So I want to stretch this histogram out a bit so that I see, and remember, this is going to be black. So usually white is over here. So we're going opposite, right? So this is now white over here. See that? We can also work on the blacks and whites, but there we go. That works better. Okay, so I'm trying to stretch this out so it goes more over here. There we go. See that? So I'm stretching out the whites to go this direction. And if you want to see the clippings, just press J. So we've got a little bit of black now. Still looks green to me, but that's okay. And now remember, everything is backwards. So if we increase the exposure, right, we have to go the opposite way to brighten it because everything is inverted because of this upside down curve. Okay, so everything is inverted. Okay. Surprisingly, except blacks here, blacks and whites, black did actually work on the blacks. I was expecting it to be inverted as well, but it seems to work just fine. Right. So right off the gate, right off the bat, we've got a better color and whatnot here. Okay. I'm going to crop it a little bit more to get rid of this faded bit on the side here as well. There we go. Okay, and I am going to go black and white. So let's go black and white with this one. Okay. Now, if you convert to black and white, this came up actually with somebody else as to why does my image look pink or a tint if it's black and white? That means your monitor is not color calibrated. So when you hit black and white on here and convert to black and white, if you don't see gray, if you see pink or green, that's what your monitor is set to. Okay. So that means you need to do monitor calibration. Oh, hey, Mike. The reticulation on the sidewalk and throughout the image. I don't know that that's reticulation or that's just film grain. I think that's just film grain, to be honest, Mike. We can take a look at that though. Let's just see how I can do with this here. Okay, so there's something on the sidewalk here. Now I could bring in I can work on the details panel on this one as well. So similar to what I did on the other one of David's. Okay, so this one is going to sharpen up the image nicely. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit here. So you see how that's bringing up the detail? Look at that. Okay, but look what happens with, oh, I see the reticulation now. Yeah. Okay, so he's talking about there's an actual pattern here. Can you see that? It's very difficult to get rid of that. So I'm actually going to take small details to the left, medium details to the right. I think, unfortunately, the Photoshop filter is going to work on that. I don't know if you're going to be able to work on that here in Luminar, but let's see what I can do. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure sharpening. So sharpening looks good, right? I see the reticulation now. I did not zoom into 100% before because I was not seeing it, but I see it now. Okay, so let's see if we can solve that. So there is a blur tool, right? We could try the blur tool and see what we can do if we just do like a Gaussian blur and paint it into these areas. It's not the best solution, right? But let's just do a Gaussian blur. And let's get a brush that, so I'm just going to try and paint into these areas to get rid of some of this, like you said, reticulation pattern. Okay. Let's paint with a little higher opacity. So it's not the best answer or solution, but it kind of works. Right? So we're blurring things as opposed to solving the problem. Otherwise, you're going to be in Luminar, there isn't an easy way to get rid of that, right? So I'm actually going to undo this and let's see what we can do with it in Photoshop. So you could attempt erase. You could use the erase tool here, right? But you're going to be doing a lot of work. So you're going to have to do sort of like what I would do is just make a few strokes like this, and you're just going to have to keep working it slowly, slowly, slowly to clone it all out, basically, right? You could also try the clone tool, right? So here you can get rid of some of the reticulation here. Okay, so it's a lot of work manually to do that. You'd have to go like spot by spot, right? So yeah, a lot of work. If we try the cloning tool, which is down here, right? We could try the cloning tool. I would set my strength to probably somewhere around like 34%. And this is where the Photoshop cloning tool is superior because you can do your cloning tool set to like a blend mode, right? Um, Actually, before I do this, here's a trick. Here's a workaround. So you cannot set the clone tool to darken, for example, so that it only fills in the light areas. But what we can do is we can duplicate this layer, okay, and change this layer blend mode to darken, okay. Now it's not doing anything on this layer because it's exactly the same. But now that this layer is set to darken, we can go clone and it will essentially sort of fake making a clone tool with a darken, right? And I'm constantly sort of resetting my cloning source. So I'm just kind of darkening like this. It's not perfect again, but this is an easier way. And it's kind of, I think there's a video in there, Rob, how to trick the Luminar clone tool to be darken blend mode. Okay, so you can just put it on a new layer. See how I'm just sort of cloning this all in, right? So again, it's not perfect, but it's starting, right? So you'd have to do the work manually this way, okay? So just a reminder, if you enjoy my teaching style, check out Luminar Neo, the complete course now. It's a complete set of resources and information that you need to learn Luminar Neo from start to finish. To watch another video here on YouTube, just click one on the screen now. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.